is going to be cool.
The topics and opinions expressed on the Dudes and Beer podcast are intended for an audience of 18 and up and are solely those of the host and guest. They neither reflect the opinions or values of either the sponsors of Dudes and Beer or your mother. I mean, seriously, have you ever heard these guys? They'll talk about anything.
Whoa, hey, you think they're going to show it? They'll probably just blur it out. Whoa, check it out, Beavis.
Grab your beverages and turn up your interweb. Solving the world's problems 12 ounces at a time. It's Dudes and Beer. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Dudes and Beer. I am Chris Jordan, your host. With me tonight, as always, is the trusty Stephen Bishop. Nelson Kugel is not here.
Oh, Kugel!
Sitting in for him is our good friend Thomas Metz. How you been doing, Tom?
Hey, man, how's it going?
Doing great.
Yeah. How you doing?
I love hearing that, man. I love hearing when people are doing good in life. You know, when they're making progress, and you have been making progress by leaps and bounds lately. Tonight on the show, we're actually going to take a little respite, man. You know, like we started game night and we started vinyl night because sometimes we get into shit so deep that like we gotta take a break from it. And we covered the election so damn much. Like we've talked about stuff post-election too, but you know, tonight we just got to take a break from that. Like, hey, if it comes up organically in conversation, whatever, maybe we'll go there for a little while. But really what we're going to get into tonight is just having some fun. We're going to talk about movies that we've seen lately, movies that we love, talk about shows that we've been watching on Netflix and things like that, stuff that we recommend, that we are all about. And we will get more into that right after this message from our sponsor.
Hey, he don't even have a license, Lisa.
Three drunk drivers.
Hey everybody, Chris Jordan, host of the Dudes and Beer podcast here. Has this ever happened to you? Tired of looking in your rearview mirror after a couple of drinks with friends or worrying about no refusal weekends and DUI stops? Are you planning a night on the town and want an easy, safe way to get around while still having fun? Well, Fare is the ride service for you. Simply download the easy-to-use and free Fare app from the Google Play Store or iTunes Marketplace and use promo code DUDES10 every time you ride with Fare to save 10% off your ride. Have a Fare driver you liked riding with? You can not only give them a review and tip, but you can add them to your preferred drivers list on your Fare app and request them every time you ride with Fare. You can schedule rides with Fare to pick you up immediately or as far as 30 minutes to 7 days in advance, eliminating the need for last-minute calls and allowing you to pre-schedule pickups and locations other than your home city. Perfect for those traveling for business or for fun. So don't forget to stop on by and download that free Fare app and use the coupon code DUDES10 every time you ride with Fare to get 10% off your ride. That's right, don't forget the coupon code is DUDES10. So be like Dudes and Beer, everybody. Party safe, use Fare, and drink responsibly. And we are back. So, guys, we were getting into some conversation earlier, talking about the quintessential Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Oh,
you know,
I mean, speaking of politics, the governor,
the governor of California.
It's not a tumor. Well, that one was from kindergarten. Everyone knows that one. Then there's like, it's not. Get to the chopper. Get down.
He does have a career that's built off one-liners.
One-liners,
Like, straight up Terminator. If you watch Terminator, it's nothing but one-liners.
He made Spanish cool. Hasta la vista.
I know.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, he did. He made Spanish cool.
Well, I guess it was cool anyway. So so what's your favorite one?
Shoot. You know what? I'm going to have to go with, like, it's definitely in the 80s. I guess that's most of them anyway, but it would have to be like Conan or Predator. Yeah,
Conan.
one of those.
Yeah,
Conan is a romp. It is
underrated amongst the Schwarzenegger movies.
I thought it was really well done for that, and
I would actually
he made
say
a good Barbarian.
I would actually say next to, and I wouldn't even say next to, probably right there with Hercules at New York, one that a lot of youngsters don't know exists.
Oh, Hercules in New York. Yeah, you're saying I've never seen that one.
Yeah, and I mean it's a young Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah,
he's like babyface.
So basically, they're like, let's make a movie of a bodybuilder.
Yeah. It was shortly after he won Mr. Universe.
Whose idea that was?
And it was basically the story of him coming to America and trying to be a model and an actor and not being taken seriously. He was just being put in all these parts, being utterly typecast as the waxed down bodybuilder in the background of some evil dude's lair. It's just quiet the whole movie, in a tunic.
I'm smooth all over.
Yeah,
I don't think that concept would do so well today. Look at Mr. Universe 2016. I can't think of what it is. It's probably some weird
oh well,
concept
it's completely different.
Model,
It's completely different now. Back then it was much more. Back then it was much more the classic bodybuilding. Jack LaLanne style stuff like that.
Lou
Ferrigno, where it was proper body tone and everything. Now it's about how jack and defined is every single muscle group and muscles on muscles and kind of disproportionate almost.
Have you ever seen those? They have these hormone GMO cows that come out and
I've seen that.
Yeah,
they're jacked.
They're
dude.
bodybuilder cows.
They're jacked.
And you're like, wow, that's pretty that
that's pretty damn disturbing.
He looks like he's in some biker bar and he's gonna bounce someone out or something.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that meat be tough if you try to eat it? Right?
Yeah.
It's all
that's manly beef. Ooh,
manly beef.
Yeah. It's. What's your favorite? What's your favorite Schwarzenegger?
I've been thinking about that, and Commando came up, and Commando holds a special place in my 80s nostalgia kind of movies. Yeah. They have one theme that plays to the whole thing. It just seems like their music budget was probably $20. But the storyline was great. His daughter gets kidnapped by the government. Yeah. Of course, because he was an army.
Because that's what the government
Wasn't that
does.
Alyssa Milano or something?
It was Alyssa Milano. It was one of her first roles. Yeah. Exactly. And here's Arnold Schwarzenegger. He lives on a really nice kind of cabin, in the middle of the woods. Yeah. He has this perfect life with his family.
Like all former special agents.
Yeah, and he's a special agent. So he basically, for some reason, these special agents kidnap his daughter and try to kill him to, blackmail him for something. I forgot the exact plot.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But he beats them all. He basically destroys
spoiler alert.
Giant. Okay.
Arnold Schwarzenegger wins.
I mean, it's
if you haven't seen Commando by now, you're really not missing much. It's basically just he's killing everybody.
Yeah, it's an atypical 80s combat movie.
It's like a Rambo kind of thing.
He chases them in that Bronco he has.
It was along the lines of. It was right there.
The action scenes were incredible, man.
Yeah, it was right there with movies like Delta Force.
Bloodsport or something.
Yeah, Bloodsport. Oh, nice. Dude, I could watch Bloodsport once a week for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
I love that movie. It's great. It's just cheese enough. It's got a few straight cheese parts, like the chase scene. It's what the fuck. It's got a young Forrest Whitaker in it.
Ooh, that's right. That's right.
It's got Forrest Whitaker. It's a good movie. It's also got Ogre.
No.
Any movie with Ogre in it's good.
Any movie with Ogre.
Yeah, so
poor guy, I can't remember his name, but he played Ogre in Revenge of the Nerds.
So Commando was great, but I don't know, what else is probably, we've been talking about this earlier, and I think we all can agree, one of the very best Arnold Schwarzenegger movies ever put out, and it's an 80s movie.
Yeah.
Predator.
Ooh,
nice.
Get to the chopper.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. And there were some other good ones. Because I would have to say that there are three of them for me that are close ties. Running Man is a good one.
That is a good one.
Running Man's good. But beyond that, Oh my God, it's the one that they just redid. Total Recall.
Oh my God,
Total Recall.
I hate when they do.
I would have to say it's a toss-up for me between Total Recall and Predator.
Those are totally,
because they're both
movies.
great stories. They're both great concepts. Predator is, of course, just iconic, but then again, so is Total Recall. Like it was groundbreaking when it happened. You know, it was
had Sharon Stone.
Like I remember seeing that a few times.
Three-breasted lady and all
out.
that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, everybody remembers the three-breasted lady.
5 kids.
And they just recently redid it. You know, we were talking earlier about Red Dawn. They recently redid Red Dawn.
Oh, I hate
so
when they
much
do
so
that.
that they stopped production and rewrote it so it was North Korea instead of China. Because they were getting ready for all the TPP and stuff like that, and they didn't want to sour anything and make China the enemy in a movie as they're trying to open negotiations.
Damn.
So the government intervened and said, "Listen, man, you need to really rewrite this and make it somebody else." So it became North Korea. For me, it's like I said, it's a toss-up between those two for me. And something Amy and I have been watching, because we watch a lot of Netflix, we watch a lot of AMC shows and stuff. Preacher.
Based on the comic? Or?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh my God.
That sounds amazing.
Dude, it is
I haven't
so
seen that one.
well done. So well. And I can't remember the other guy that produces it, but it's produced by Seth Rogen.
Really?
And oh my God, it is so well done. Like the story is amazing.
Now, who wrote The Preacher? Wasn't that a Stephen King story? Or am I thinking of something else?
I think you're thinking of something else.
We should
look that up.
I'm going to look it up. I'm going to get on my
get on your Imperial probe droid and let us know.
Imperial probe droid.
I was thinking iPhones. If anything, they're kind of like
the
Star
Siri.
Trek. What is it called? The
tricorder.
The tricorder. Yeah, totally.
Oh yeah.
The iPhone is Star Trek tricorder.
It was straight up admitted by the designers of the flip phone that they got their inspiration from the communicator of Star Trek.
So much
That's
technology
where
has
the concept
been inspired by
of
Star
the
Trek.
flip open came from.
The flip came from Star Trek.
Yeah, and they said, we were totally inspired by that. We wanted it to be like a friggin' communicator device from Star Trek. And it's interesting because
kind of is.
there's been some great documentaries on Netflix and stuff like that about the science of Star Trek and about how they have shows like Star Trek, Star Wars have driven.
They've inspired
people.
a lot of our technology that we have
they've
today.
inspired a lot of people to become scientists.
Right.
And they've inspired a lot of people to want to aspire to make that technology happen. Mm-hmm. And that's where their concepts come from. You know, and it's pretty wild. There have been some amazing advances in technology lately. Like I've been posting some wild articles. For those of you that aren't part of the Dudes and Beer group, please go to Facebook, become part of the Dudes and Beer group. We post all kinds of articles, things like that. Also some crazy shit. All the episodes are populated there as well. And it's a great little community of people. A lot of fun folks in there. So stop by and check that out.
There's still some stuff I'm still researching on Gene Roddenberry that, his claims that he claimed that he had communications with aliens at one point. With the military and NASA and stuff.
There is a great documentary that my brother showed me, and I'm trying to remember the name of it, but I think it's called Growing Up Star Trek. And literally, it's Gene Roddenberry, because Gene Roddenberry didn't really know his dad. Like, his dad was always gone.
Huh.
He was always either writing and creating, or he was gone and he was on set. So he never really saw his dad growing up, and he really resented the fucking show for a long time.
Wow.
And people always wanted him to come to Comic-Cons and stuff like that, and he's like, no.
And you know what? And actually,
and then,
I feel like that comes out in his writing. So... A little offshoot.
Go ahead.
Are you an original Star Trek fan, or maybe a new Next Generation?
I am actually.
I'm both.
I am actually an original and Deep Space Niner.
Deep Space Nine, really? You see, I couldn't get into that one as much.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I think the Next Generation was so good. In my opinion,
and see that one to me, like I don't know,
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy it as much.
I didn't get into Deep Space.
I found it to be a little pretentious. On some parts, the one I couldn't stand was the one with Scott Bakula.
That one was terrible. Well, you know what?
They're making a new one.
To be fair, the one with Scott Bakula, I watched 4 episodes, and I was still not. I wasn't
pulled in. I wasn't pulled in. Yeah, I enjoyed Voyager.
Mm-hmm. You know, I've yet to see Voyager.
Voyager's some good stuff. Yeah. I liked the whole concept with Deep Space Nine of the wormhole and everything else. Like, it really set up for some cool stuff.
That was cool. Okay, yeah, I'm going to watch more of Deep Space Nine because I think
I might have to do that.
I think it's probably built more like a movie. Like the whole thing is a one big movie. Thing.
Yeah.
I guess the Next Generation sort of brought in elements from other episodes a lot.
Yeah,
right.
But, I think that's why I liked it so much because it was sort of a continuous.
I enjoyed Q. I love Q. And that dude actually does, like, if you listen to books on tape, he does a shit ton of books on tape.
I bet he does.
He does a lot of narration.
Well, he's got that very,
Oh yeah, he's got the glottal.
Well done voice.
He's got the glottal lift, which is a gift. Like, not everybody can do it properly, and it's a hard trained vocal device that's used by old school broadcasters.
Check out my new metal band,
glottal lift. Glottal lift.
I like Data and Picard.
Yeah, you see, I was really.
I enjoyed it. I just never got into it. Like, I'd watch it if it was on at somebody's house. Like when I was in the seminary, it was always on. Like, it was a show that was gathered for, and there were a group of us, like me, that watched Batman and stuff like that.
Those
also,
old ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you grew up on the older ones. That's funny.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the older ones too. I thought they were very good.
I grew up watching the older ones on my black and white TV.
Honestly, nobody can really
UHF
replace Spock.
No,
Spock was such a pinnacle character.
Yeah. Oh man, he was penultimate.
Yeah, and that's the thing that was missing in the Next Generation.
Yeah,
in Data,
even though Picard
kind of.
I think
they tried to basically tried to make number one Spock.
Oh, really?
That's how I always saw it, because Spock was always the one that was there, that was like the consigliere.
Well, Spock in the Next Generation, I thought, was replaced by Data. Data was sort of...
That's what I thought.
A superior Spock. Spock actually, if Spock didn't have the human side.
Yeah.
Which is why Spock was a superior character, because he had that human element.
Yeah. Yeah, because he was a halfling. He was.
So in the Next Generation, you have Data, who's constantly trying to be more human, but can't be human, because he's an android. Like, it's quite impossible.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought that was kind of an interesting
But
story
Spock was kind of very similar, I thought, to Data, or Data is similar to Spock, because they always spoke of, like, logic, or,
Exactly.
That's where the connection to me came from, was like, hey,
and I guess that's true.
Like, they're always going to make the best logical decision, which is funny, because I sort of, as a person, I relate to that a lot, because that's I go through my life thinking, what's the best logical solution to this, and everyone's got to get their own thing, but I always personally kind of felt like.
And what was that thing with the
holodeck episodes? To me, were
the holodeck
a little much sometimes, that was just me.
There's even a Western episode where they're everything hologram.
Well, the holodeck got interesting when you read more into it, because it became like a sentient thing.
Yes,
and it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, like later on there was some wild episodes.
If you look at our reality now, it's like a lot of us spend so much time on Netflix, on Facebook. Yep. On your screens, I got my phone. In front
we're
of
getting ready to be spending time in holodeck.
So yeah, I mean,
literally, we're getting ready for VR right now. We're getting ready to come out for Christmas,
and that's my point. Is I feel like a lot of people would prefer a holodeck type of experience. Yeah,
Well, and there's a movie based on that. Where,
I mean, like The Matrix? Or,
no, not the Matrix.
Like another one.
Replicant. The movie Replicant, where basically people have an avatar that looks just like them, that goes out in the world and lives this totally different life while they're sleeping, but they're in control. Like it's like a waking dream for them.
Shit.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff. Hijinks ensue.
Well, of course, hijinks would ensue. But, I mean, otherwise, why would you watch it?
Yeah.
All movies I watch, there has to be some sort of hijinks.
Yes, exactly.
It's like the hijinks factor.
Yeah, and I've been watching quite a few movies lately. I was watching RoboCop last night.
The original or the remake?
Yeah, the original,
wow.
the original. And I
Man,
came home
some
from
of the-
work. I literally needed to decompress. I was going to do I did a phone episode with John Seymour of Seymour Films.
Nice.
And
that movie
that'll be coming out
It's
soon.
a trip, man.
And it's it was like
I
I
still
saw
prefer
it.
the original.
I saw it on my Mika player on the hard drive, and it was like, you know what?
Well, they had that like
I got enough time.
That like
the Ed 29, dude.
Oh, the Ed. Yeah.
You have 20 seconds to comply.
Yeah. 20 seconds.
Oh my god.
You have 10 seconds to comply.
But I can't turn it off, sir. What do I do?
Yeah.
It's like, why would you want like something shoot like 50 caliber rounds at civilians?
Yeah,
you know, like
Why did you put live rounds in this thing?
Yeah,
Dude, one of them would tear you
Oh
apart.
my god, it was
This
hilarious.
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie was
The
brilliant.
second one was filmed in Houston.
You know, that doesn't surprise me.
No claim to fame. No claim to fame. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
But,
Houston has
but I
what,
mean,
like,
it's
ZZ
such a
Top
well done
and that
story.
Robocop
And
movie?
what I love about Paul Verhoeven's movies is because he did Starship Troopers too, which is another one that, like, to me, movies like that, like, I do a lot of coding in my living room on my laptop. And I'll always have a movie or a PBS documentary or something like that playing in the background. I watch a lot of Planet Earth shit.
Oh, dude. I just watched the whole season, man.
Oh yeah, the new one. I've
have a new
seen
one?
I've seen the clip from some new BBC documentary where it's literally, you need to post it as a video of the week, where it's literally like
You're telling me they
this
got a new
iguana.
Planet Earth?
I think it's Planet Earth. It may be Blue Planet.
Oh, Blue Planet. Well, I think that's pretty old too. I don't know. It's all on Netflix. Who
But
knows?
anyway, it's this iguana that's escaping all these snakes that are trying to eat it. And literally, like a lot of
That sounds
snakes. Like there's like 15 snakes coming after this friggin' iguana. It's
as
crazy.
far as I'm concerned, a hijinks meter, that's pretty
up
high
there.
up there.
That's pretty up there. That's pretty up there. Exactly.
What was that
But-
series called?
I can't remember. It might be Planet Earth.
Oh, okay.
We're still
or
trying
Blue
to figure
Planet.
that out.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I do enjoy some beverages here and there, and that was one of those like tired moments when I saw it on Facebook also. So it's all over Facebook.
So
But-
let's kind of return back to the Preacher for a second. just
Sure.
because I found
Yeah,
out.
you did.
Okay, so anyway, we're saying, I made the statement. Oh yeah, it's by Stephen King. It says here the writer Garth Ennis.
There you go.
So I guess he was the creators.
There
Garth
you go.
Ennis, Steve Dillon.
Yeah.
So I was wrong about that. What was I thinking of with that Stephen King though?
Dark Tower,
Dark Tower. That was
which
the
is
other
being
one.
made into a movie right now. They're
Yeah.
presently shooting.
Oh yeah,
it.
they're making a movie out of that.
Yeah.
No, that I want to see. I'm a
That's
huge
going to be
Stephen
dope
King
as
fan,
hell.
Yeah.
And they're also redoing it as a movie.
They sure are.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, with all this clown stuff going on right now they want to release a clown movie? It's like, how's this going to go over?
Perfect, actually.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, it actually came out that it started as a publicity stunt,
That's
and
what
then
I'm
things
thinking.
got out of hand, and they like withdrew themselves, and they were like, "No, this is not us."
Well, the thing is, I just don't know how anybody can do a better job
Than Tim
Yes.
Curry.
than Tim Curry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's kind of like nobody does
Man.
Freddy better than Robert Englund.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Like
he's
Robert
made for
Englund
it.
is
Yeah,
Freddy.
made.
Exactly. Yeah,
Like
Tim Curry is it. He's
Yeah.
a crazy clown.
Yeah.
that everyone's afraid
Yeah.
of.
That demonic clown.
yeah. It'll
Yeah.
be interesting.
Pennywise.
I mean, I just hope they don't use CGI.
And I saw
yeah.
something. It was
Oh, I
I,
hate CGI.
I belong to a lot of comic
It's
book
overly
groups on Facebook. Shout out to Nerds of Anarchy. But I actually saw something. I think it was from like Comic Book Generation or something like that, talking about how Robin Williams was actually originally considered for the Joker in the '89 Batman movie.
Interesting.
Wow.
And I was like,
That's
I could
interesting.
see him as the Riddler.
Yes,
I could
actually, yeah.
not. He doesn't have the crazy, like the "I will kill you" crazy.
Right.
All right.
That
Poll. Quick poll.
yeah.
Who was the best Joker?
Ooh, shoot. I'm a Nicholson fan, man. Quite
I'm
honestly,
leaning towards Nicholson.
I like Nicholson and Romero.
Well,
I love Cesar Romero in the original Batman series.
Cesar Romero was the original Joker.
Yeah.
Okay,
in the Batman series.
Okay, and then of course we have Heath Ledger.
Oh yeah.
You know,
he did a great job.
He did a great job.
Maybe, but better than Jack Nicholson even.
It depends. The thing is, though,
It's
it
up there.
depends.
It's
It
definitely-
depends on what Batman you're reading.
It's true. Well, because Jack Nicholson, you know what I liked about the whole Tim Burton Batman stuff was it was very brilliantly comic book like, but
Yeah,
also realistic at the same time.
And macabre.
And very macabre.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is so good.
Yeah,
Just
it was great.
Brilliantly done. I mean, it's
good at the
Of
macabre.
course,
Yeah, the first
he
two are
always
fantastic.
always uses Danny Elfman. You know, so for me,
Composing the music.
being a musician.
Well,
like
of course,
overall-
Oingo Boingo. Come on,
Danny
guys.
has so
yeah.
much.
You're
So-
in an '80s band.
I
Come
mean,
on.
All right.
Safety Patrol.
Yeah,
Actually,
little plug. Safety Patrol.
We're,
When's your next gig?
we're playing a Baby A's.
Nice.
This Friday, 8
All right.
to midnight or something.
Cool.
Yeah, and we're gonna rock out, shred it
Go
out.
on out. They do
Yeah.
kick ass. I
Yeah.
love them.
Wear our luchador masks.
I've known
Yeah.
Tom for years, and he is literally hands down one of the best musicians I've ever worked with or known.
Oh, well, shut up. I ain't that good. Anyway, so,
Anyway,
so
Jokers.
Oh, the Jokers.
The Jokers, right? So we got Jack Nicholson, and we got Heath Ledger, and I'm sorry, what was the third?
Those are my
guy?
two favorites right there.
Caesar Romero.
Cesar Romero. But how about the animated guys? Do you guys know off the top of
Mark
your head?
Hamill.
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill.
That's
Mark
right.
Hamill does a great Joker.
Yeah, well, there
He
you go.
is fucking
So, I mean-
awesome as the Joker. Batman the animated movie is hands down probably in my top 10 movies of all time.
Really?
I love that movie.
Really?
I love it. It's so well done. So
I'm gonna have
well
to watch
done.
that because
And
I've heard lots of good things about that particular.
the
movie,
Batman
too.
animated series to begin with is one that I have on in the background a lot while I'm working. That and Batman Beyond. Batman Beyond was dope. And I have them all on digital. If you want them, I can give them to you.
Oh yeah, I would love to go and check
Just
that
come
out.
over to the house and
Yeah,
hang
yeah,
out.
we'll come.
We're
oh,
supposed to be hooking up this week to
Yeah,
work
yeah.
on stuff for you for the future. But get ready for some bomb drops from Tom Metz, y'all. Because he'll have to come on the Talking Sound
Some bomb
podcast
drops. and
drop the bombs.
And this is another bomb.
Yeah, drop the ball.
Dropping the bombs, son.
Nice beatbox.
But yeah, I mean, to me, the '89 Batman was where it was at. I loved it. Jack Nicholson, to me, really tied a lot of ends of the Joker together. He had the crazy, much like, to me, the best Batman so far has been Michael Keaton.
yeah, totally.
He
with
had
like the Corvette.
well, not just that.
That was
it was
dope.
it was
that Corvette.
it was the eyes behind the cowl.
And, yeah,
he
the
had
eyes.
he had the crazy in his eyes. Like he has a crazy in his eyes that doesn't exist in other people.
Michael Keaton's great, man.
He
Like,
is. He is an intense actor.
Totally.
He really
Hey,
is.
what's that? I thought I heard they were
Fucking
even gonna
Gung Ho,
well,
dude.
I mean-
you want a tearjerker?
Oh, Gung Ho.
You want a tearjerker?
That's
You
an
watch
oldie.
Gung Ho.
Yeah, that's an oldie.
I'll have to look at that one.
It's him and Wong Duk Dong.
Wong Duk Dong.
Yes, from 16 Candles.
I remember that one.
Anyway. Yeah, I mean, Preacher is really, really, really well done. It is spectacular. We're
Are
probably
they
about
remaking
6 episodes
Beetlejuice? I
into
thought
it.
I heard something like
They
that.
are making Beetlejuice 2.
Oh, okay, 2.
They're making Beetlejuice 2, which
Who's-
will
is it-
actually have Michael Keaton and
Wow.
and oh my God, the girl, her name.
Guyver or
Gina Davis.
Gina Davis.
No, not Gina Davis.
No, Winona Ryder.
Winona Ryder, exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah,
That is going to be kind of cool.
yeah, it's gonna be good stuff. I think I'm expecting something good out of it. I really don't think it's gonna be.
That movie was one of my favorites.
Oh
way
yeah,
up there.
Beetlejuice is great. I was actually just thinking about that the other day, and I was looking to see like if I had it, and I was like, damn, I don't have a digital version.
Michael Keaton's acting was just off the chain.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Yeah,
He's fantastic.
great storyline.
What's your go-to movie, Tom?
My go-to? Oh, geez.
Yeah.
You like? What do you mean go-to movie? Like,
Your go-to movie that like you could watch every day.
Every day. Man. That's a good question.
Or if you've got some extra time,
Thank you.
And you're going to throw a movie
That's
on.
my
what would it
job,
be?
Tom.
Well, I mean, one of my favorite movies, I would say, would be Fight Club.
Yeah.
Really?
Fucking
Fight
up
Club.
top
Yeah.
on that.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. That's like...
I got it on VHS.
Yeah, I did too.
Same here.
I don't know where it is in storage somewhere. Yeah, I mean, like, to me, like, that movie, like, I've seen it hundreds of times.
It is a perfect movie.
And, like, yeah, like, everything about it, like, the Dust Brothers do the soundtrack, and it just fits so perfectly.
Yeah.
And they end it with, the Pixies, Where Is My Mind?
Yep.
Great
song.
Great song, Like, I mean, for me, like, soundtracks kind of make the movie. Oddly enough, the Dust Brothers...
absolutely.
Right, it does.
I'm not even, like... I mean, I like electronica music, but, I never would have thought, like, the Dust Brothers would have been, like, this great band. But then I think, like, when I watched that movie, like, that soundtrack really does kind of tie the whole thing together.
It does.
Brilliantly.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So...
Absolutely.
of course, Brad Pitt's in it, Helena Bonham Carter.
Yep.
Yeah, Marla Sanger, and of course,
She sings so
Edward
good.
Norton.
I like her voice.
Ed
when she
Norton,
sings.
yeah.
Oh, she sings too. I didn't know that.
Yeah, wait,
Yeah.
I think it's the same one. Yeah. Burton's wife or whatever, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Steve-O? What's your go-to?
Oh shit, man! I don't know. I used to have go-to movies, man. I need to get back more into watching movies. Shoot, that's a mind-boggler at this moment. Trying to tap back into like those days where I used to like have a go-to movie,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the last go-to stuff that like I would do is like
American Ninja?
well, I guess it wouldn't even. Yeah, I know. I do.
That was my go-to as a kid.
Dude. When I was a kid, dude, I always waited for the next one. There were so many of them. Yeah.
Wait. So what was American Ninja?
It was corny, but it was
American Ninja was the story of a soldier who, when he was a kid, was actually trained by this old man in the ninja ways of martial arts, and ends up in the army, and hijinks ensue.
Yeah.
And
hijinks. Yeah.
there's a group of ninjas that is actively like jacking convoys of military stuff, and he ends up busting down and laying the ninjutsu down.
It would be like on like TBS right after Commando.
Oh yeah,
literally.
Oh, all the time. Anyway, your go-to.
Well, I don't know. Like when I did have a go-to, back when I would do that more often or whatever. I don't know, dude. Like seriously, I don't know. I would put on like a music video stuff.
You know what?
Live video stuff. Like
Let me actually go on a limb. I think you would go to Pink Floyd's The Wall.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude,
Yes.
that's what you...
Roger Waters, Pink Floyd.
I would say that is
DVD.
definitely in my top go-tos.
Yeah.
I had the live,
especially
DVD
for
when
like
it came
Steve.
out.
And
Oh yeah.
I love
I feel
that.
like he's such a Pink Floyd fan. You are too. But,
Yeah.
I mean, we're all Pink Floyd fans.
Oh yeah, we're all Floyd
We're-
heads. Every one of us. But yeah, that's definitely one of my go-tos that I like. Amy asked me one day, because I've got the playlist that's literally every single Pink Floyd album, and I'll put that shit on repeat, and like I'll sit and code website all day, and she'll be like, "How many times can you listen to this?" I was like, literally every day until I die.
Probably.
I could listen to this playlist.
Dude, he
every
has
day
the
until
Relics
I
on
die.
vinyl. Pink Floyd,
nice.
the Relics.
Yeah, there's a nice little Pink Floyd collection.
And so I've borrowed it for like at least a week now, and like I would be in my studio and I would play it, and I thought, okay, eventually while I'm cleaning my room up or something or rearranging, I'm eventually going to get tired of it. And I found myself like, I've heard it like 7 times tonight. I'm still not tired of it.
Yeah, it's amazing stuff. Amazing.
Just keep flipping it.
Awesome, man.
For me,
I love records like that. Yeah, what's yours?
yeah. Well, for me, I would probably actually say Goodfellas.
Goodfellas.
Oh, such a good movie.
Goodfellas is probably my
that's
go-to. That like whenever Amy knows I'm having a hard day,
that's a damn good
stuff
one.
like that. She's like,
I had that.
Why
on
don't you
DVD.
put on Goodfellas? Like she'll go to leave to go to the theater and be like, why don't you put on Goodfellas while I'm gone? It's just about the amount of time I'll be gone. It'll put you in a good mood before I get back.
What's his name? Pescio or whatever?
Joe Pesci, yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
He plays such good gangster roles.
Oh,
you know.
Well, I mean that
him and De Niro together.
That and Casino. And Casino. I have quite a few movies loaded on my tablet that are my travel movies because they're just the length of my airline flights. So like Deadpool is one of them.
Oh, Deadpool was well made.
That's become a fast favorite for me. You know.
Okay, so Goodfellas, Martin Scorsese film.
Yep.
Who else was in that? So we got Robert De Niro.
I can see his face. He does a liquor commercial now.
You got Ray Liotta.
That's the one I was thinking of.
You've got the girl that played the doctor on The Sopranos.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. She was the psychiatrist, I believe.
Melfi was her
name.
Yeah,
Dr. Melfi. Yeah, she played the wife of... she played the...
she would talk to Tony.
She played... Well,
his name was Tony.
Well, that was in The Sopranos.
Yeah.
But in Goodfellas, she was actually the wife of the character of Ray Liotta. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was a really good one.
It's such a good movie. It's so well written. It's great from beginning to end. It actually, to me, is one of those that it is a perfect movie. Like, the way the camera moves... it really started this concept of like a constantly moving camera shot, like, you know, shot with one thing. It's pretty incredible. Another one that's up there for me is definitely Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
That's just so well done that I could watch it all the time and pick up something new in it every time, pick up some nuance. Much like Gangnam Style. I'm a big believer in that video. If you've never seen the video, go watch the Gangnam Style.
Huh?
Yeah,
I've had a friend. Just
it was a
recently.
big rage. It's probably the most watched video on the internet. Literally.
Really?
I've got a friend. He says he watches it like, he loves that video, and he keeps watching it. And every time he watches it, he says he can see something new, different in the background.
Every single time, there is literally so much going on.
Right.
And like, I'm a video person. I edit video. I shoot video. I work with video all the time, and. Even the day that the first time I saw it, it was being used as like they were going to do a Gangnam Style flash mob at this Kroger event that was happening that I was working. And we had to practice the video cue like 10 times. And literally they played it through like 10 times in a row. And it was like... I literally can't even keep track of what's going on. Like, there's so much going on that like by the time you start catching what's going on, the scene changes. And you know, it was funny because I've said on this show before that one of the reasons I think Deadpool was so entirely popular is it was a lot true to the character. It was very much true.
It never left a dull moment. It seemed to always keep going.
And it was because I think it was the first...
Deadpool. Oh, yeah, the one that just came out.
Yeah. I think it was the first ADD-inspired movie.
I can see that.
It does not stay at any point of the plot for more than 5 minutes.
No. It's very,
it switches. Every 5 minutes, you're somewhere else.
Yeah.
And it's all telling you the story. You know, much like if you watch Pulp Fiction, you know, that's another one that's a perfect movie. It's just great from beginning to end.
That was a really well made. That was a highly entertaining movie. Yeah.
But it's actually a story out of order.
This is a love story. Yeah, I like that it's a love story. It came out on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was a good movie, man.
It's just it's so well made, and it's one of those that, like I said, it's an airplane movie, and I've been doing a lot of travel. Yep.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds.
Who actually
did a great job.
Who actually played Deadpool in the Wolverine movie that was absolutely horrifying and horrible.
Oh, really?
That was the whole joke with the figurine of Deadpool.
Oh, yeah. He made that joke. He made that.
Whenever he picked it up.
Oh my god!
Yeah. This is my most treasured possession. Yeah, you know.
That's so good. Yeah, you know, I love those Marvel movies, man. All of them are just so.
They've done a great job. They really, really have. I've been more than impressed with them.
What about that Amazing Spider-Man movie? Did y'all like that one?
Amazing was okay. Yeah. It was all right.
I don't know. I was kind of hooked on the other ones before, and then that one was like.
You know, I didn't see the Spider-Man movie, so I can't weigh in on that.
Any of them?
Well, I saw the old ones, but I mean, I don't count those because those aren't, technically under the new Marvel.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
so like, I look at like when Marvel puts out stuff now under their name.
Yeah,
it's awesome because like it feeds into the whole universe.
Yeah,
so I haven't seen the newest Spider-Man, which I feel like might be the first one really to break into the Marvel universe. I don't know if you. That was kind of my impression. I don't know if you guys.
Yeah, you're right. I think so.
But yeah. So anyway, like I like how for instance, Avengers and like that Shield TV show.
Yep.
Captain America, Iron Man,
Legion's coming out.
The new what else was it? Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, Guardians is great.
Oh yeah,
Guardians is so well done, so fantastic. I have Guardians #2 signed.
So I'm wondering,
it's a proud moment.
So now the next one they're coming out with is Doctor Strange. So where is he going to come into play?
I get to go see that tomorrow, and I can't wait.
Nice.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm not going to say I was a Doctor Strange collector, but I was a Doctor Strange reader. I loved the stories.
I read a lot of Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
So he appeared in that quite a bit.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I always liked
because of Dormammu and all that kind of stuff.
Mephisto and all the vampire stuff. Yeah. That stuff's pretty sweet. I like vampire inspired comics.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's funny because you when you read the really old Marvel comics, a lot of them are horror comics.
They are. No. The originals were horror and westerns.
Oh yeah.
That's where they started.
Mm-hmm. So I think that's why I kind of like that whole side of the Marvel kind of world, because they have like vampires and it would have supernatural
Morbius
stuff.
Morbius and Blade,
of course,
Blade. Blade was a good movie. I enjoyed Blade.
He's all right.
I liked Blade. I really did.
It was all right. It was all right.
I think it was the first movie that really let Marvel go, wow, look at how far we got to take that.
Right? Yeah.
And I like the whole thing about Blade. I think I liked was the vampire thing.
Well,
they did a great job.
Yeah.
And it's like they tapped into this sort of underground hip-hop scene, not hip-hop.
I like how they did
electronica,
Oh no, it was definitely it was definitely in the age of rave. Raves were the going thing at the time. I remember going to them. It was all club music and stuff like the opening scene.
And then a blood come out.
Yeah. It's like this underground rave, bloodbath.
Yeah. You think it's a normal rave until that thing goes off. It's all blood.
And then suddenly Lim from the Shield is being attacked by all these friggin' vampires.
Yeah. It's basically like this whole 90s raver vampire
there was a lot.
Well, I think of Prodigy and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, no, most definitely. And there was a lot of rave and a lot of vampire stuff going on in the 90s. And you know what? We're getting ready to go to break now. We're getting ready to head out to break, so I don't want to go too crazy. But whenever we come, but whenever we come back, let's go into the vampire world of the '90s and stuff like that, because it's an interesting world and it went all kinds of places, and it really became this phenomenon. It was a rebirth to this concept.
And if you're not a real vampire, you're just goth.
Besides, I get to get another beer.
Yeah, exactly. We gotta take a bio. We gotta refresh stuff. So
take a bio.
Whenever we come back, folks, we will talk about the vampire culture in the '90s, the movies, comic books, stuff like that. Right after this break. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. So whenever we left a minute ago to refresh our beverages and get ready for the rest of this, we were talking about vampires and the 90s. Mm-hmm. And it started right up around Lost Boys. That was 89.
Have you seen that, Tom?
Who hadn't seen Lost Boys?
Well, I don't know. There's some
Here's the thing. If you haven't seen Lost Boys, you are not welcome in this studio.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite movies.
Just that simple. And I would tend to think that Billy Stewart of ScaryDad.com, shout out to you, Scary Dad, and the Scary Dad podcast. Everybody go out and check it out. It has been relaunched, and it is freaking amazing. Him and Scott Fontenot talking about horror. the history of horror, all kinds of badass shit. They've got a great one coming up on December 5th that's going to be friggin' dope. So check it out, y'all.
So, okay, let's go back to Vampires of the 90s here. So, Lost Boys, excellent movie.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Totally.
You know,
great movie.
I'm going to have to go with, let's see.
There was Bram Stoker's Dracula.
That's actually what I was going to say. Bram Stoker's with Gary Oldman was probably my favorite.
That's right.
Little Gary Oldman, little Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
In one of his first serious roles.
Yeah, I mean, as far as vampire movies, either that one or Interview with a Vampire was also very well done.
That was well done. Yeah.
It was
That's
well
true.
done.
That's true. That was well done.
So, now, are there any other contenders with top vampire movies?
Well, I mean, there is Vampire in Brooklyn.
Those are the big ones there.
I don't think I remember Vampire in Brooklyn. Well,
come on, that was Eddie Murphy.
Well, and then, of course...
Somebody died on the set of that. Come on. Woo! At least that's the rumor.
I mean, what else was there in the 90s? Let's just kind of get a list here. So
Vampire-wise, you mean?
Yeah. Was Blade a 90s movie?
Blade was a 90s movie.
Oh, yeah, 90s.
Well, you sure
Absolutely.
that was 90s?
Yes.
Yeah, that was
I'm
90s.
damn positive. The music was total, like I was saying before the break.
Or at least the first one was.
The music was total 90s rave.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Maybe, I was gonna say late 90s. It sounds like it
was like
time.
97, 98.
Yeah, it's like right in there.
Yeah, so right
or
in the
actually
2000s.
maybe closer than that because it was probably 96, 97. To tell you quite honestly, because it was fairly shortly after I came back from my semester in Rome.
Okay, so we got the Blade movies, we got Lost Boys, which could actually technically be more of an 80s movie.
That's true.
It's a cusp. It's a cusp.
But it might disqualify it for this, actually.
Okay.
Then we have Interview with a Vampire.
Google Smurf that.
Yeah, okay. Let's see what's going on with that one.
Just Google vampire movies 80s or 90s.
I liked Underworld, but I don't know if that was in the 90s.
No, that was 2000s.
Okay.
That was 2000.
Okay.
That was definitely 2000s.
It had that same kind of Blade feel a little bit.
Well,
underground.
It was interesting. It was interesting. Amy's been interested in watching that, and I need to watch it with her. I haven't seen it. I think I saw it like twice. The first time, I think I fell asleep. I had just gotten off work at the country club. And came home.
Huh?
Well, no, I mean, I would work nights at a country club in Maine.
I was making fun.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't good. No. But
yeah, The Vampire in Brooklyn was a 90s one.
Yep.
It came out in 95.
Yep.
We have The Addiction. Anybody remember The Addiction? I don't remember that one. Innocent Blood. Interview the Vampire.
Yep.
Now, here's one, From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yes! Oh my God! How did that not pop into my head, dude? We're in Austin. Come on.
Yeah.
Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah.
That was a badass movie.
Mm-hmm. There's a movie called Vampires. Mm-hmm. John Carpenter.
Yeah, John Carpenter's Vampires. That's a good one, too.
Yep.
Blood and Donuts. I don't remember that one.
No, that kind of sounds like a Killer Clowns from Outer Space type vampire movie. Which they are making a second Killer Clowns.
Oh my God.
Hopefully filmed in Houston.
Oh man.
That's another claim to fame. Houston was where Killer Clowns was filmed.
Oh, do you guys remember Bloodstone?
That sounds familiar.
Yes,
that was a good one.
Okay.
Yeah. What else? Daughter of Darkness.
No,
I don't remember
that sounds like a direct-to-video release, like Lionsgate shit.
Yeah.
Which is now like a legit company, but
know.
at the time they did a lot of... I remember my stepmother at the time knew somebody that was a movie previewer. They basically did movie reviews, they would write the reviews to send to Blockbuster so that they would want to put the movie on the shelf. And she did a lot of Lionsgate
That's something
stuff.
that's a dinosaur these days. Blockbuster.
Oh yeah, right. But literally, like, she would give me all these pre-release movies, like before they were on the shelf.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Moon Man. Well, it was one with Ed Harris where he was like building, or Rocket Man. Yeah, where he was like building a rocket, to like go into suborbit.
That almost sounds like that Billy Bob Thornton one or whatever.
But
And then there was also, I'm trying to think here. Okay, we got Dracula Dead and Loving It. I thought that was a good one.
Okay.
The Mel Brooks take on Dracula with
absolutely.
Yeah,
Leslie Nielsen.
Man, I love Leslie Nielsen.
Leslie Nielsen, God rest his soul.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, I grew up watching Leslie Nielsen. I mean, Airplane was one of those movies that was on HBO almost on repeat, like Nightmare on Elm Street when I was a kid. It was on all the time.
Wasn't that one that Colin Farrell did or something like that? I think it was actual remake, and it might not even be. I think
one that we watched recently. Oh my God. Google it for me. It was one that was in the Ravenous. It was more of the Wendigo. The concept of the Wendigo, and it's a vampiristic concept, where somebody has human flesh and then they just have a craving for it and they want more of it. But it happened during the Civil War, and we saw it on Netflix, and it was like, I heard about this. I remember wanting to watch this, and it had some really, really good actors in it. It was amazing.
Oh, the one with Guy Pearce and Robert Carlyle.
Yeah.
And David Arquette.
Yep.
Also in it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really, really well done and a great story. It was great. One that I watched recently that Scary Dad did a review of, if I'm not mistaken, was The Witch.
The Witch. Oh,
it came out a couple years ago.
Yeah, it was really good.
I will say this: there's this new trend in movies, and I don't know what it is, but please, audio engineers that are fucking mastering movies, it's not dramatic. It's fucking annoying. It's annoying as shit for me to have to sit there and ride the fucking volume on my goddamn movie.
Yeah.
Between the dialogue and the soundtrack,
it seems dialogue's too low.
That's the only thing. That was my only complaint about the movie The Witch, was because I had to sit there and literally ride my friggin' sound system the whole time with a remote.
I had that same issue with that same movie.
But it was so well done. It was fantastic, and it's actually in the version of English that was spoken at the time. It's all taken from diaries. And the version
had like a lot
English
of suspense, kind of like you had to kind of like.
Well, it had an odd story, but the twist at the end was like, oh yeah,
yeah, the twist.
like it was awesome, and one that Amy actually enjoyed lately. Speaking of '90s movies, that she had never seen and is on my hard drive that I absolutely love watching. It's another background movie of my life. They Live.
Oh, yeah.
John Carpenter's They Live, dude. Yeah. Like, with Roddy Piper.
Chewing bubblegum and kicking ass.
Yeah, I'm here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. I'm all out of bubblegum. And he just starts blasting fools in a bank. It's got literally the most epic fight scene in the world. But the concept of it is fantastic. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it was taken from a Philip K. Dick.
They Live. Wait a minute. So that was a vampire-based thing?
No, it wasn't a vampire-based thing. It was an alien-based thing. I just went off into other 90s
Well, I mean,
movies.
okay.
You put
I
those
went away
shades
from
on.
vampires. I'm sorry. Let's bring it back. Let's loop back. Let's loop back.
Don't get me wrong. I love aliens, but we're talking vampires.
Yeah. We'll get into it. We'll get into that. What was your favorite vampire movie of the night?
Man, my favorite vampire movie of the... Yeah, you know what? I'm going to have to go with Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Really?
Yeah, it was just, like, storyline was just, straight up from, the actual book, and of course you got to kind of take that into consideration, like, with the vampire movies, it's like, well, like, who was the best vampire, Like, that's Dracula, man. Like, I don't think there's a better vampire
Nosferatu!
No. Yeah, but, like...
They're remaking Nosferatu.
Oh, you ain't gonna do that. I've got that on VHS, actually, the original.
But, the story is great. It's like this guy, he loses his love back in, Vladimir the whatever.
Yeah.
The Impaler.
Vladimir Impaler, right?
Yeah, so, he loses his love, and then he finds her centuries later.
Yeah.
And he's a vampire, though, so...
Yeah, because he drank that blood when he was in his rage, right?
Yes. Oh, man. It was just crazy.
He accepted Satan.
Gary Oldman and all that. And who else is it? Tom Waits was Renfield.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what made that movie so good. We got Tom Waits in it.
Right?
Like,
nice.
Rando Tom Waits appearance.
He's just random Tom Waits. Yeah, of course, Keanu Reeves.
Well, and it was really well done. It was fantastic.
He was getting the life sucked out of him laying in that bed with all those hot vampire chick.
Yeah.
Draining him sexually and of his
What about
blood.
you, Steve-O? What's your
vampire movie?
Yeah.
Oh man. What was that? What was the other ones we were naming off? There was one that I think I liked better than Bram Stoker. What was that one? Well, I don't know. Blade is a good one, but I love Blade.
Me too.
But I think there was something else. Well, Interview with the Vampire, that was great. Really well done. I don't know. I'm probably gonna have to go with Blade. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so far, I think
to me,
Blade was a pretty fucking badass movie.
Blade was a really well done movie.
Hey, what's the guy that does the e-cigarettes now? And he was the guy. He was in Blade. You know who I'm talking about, right? Steven something. What's his name? Steven something. He was the blood.
Oh.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah. No,
he was young in the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he actually played the bad guy.
Yeah, the bad guy. Yeah, he was the main bad guy, and he had to do something to become the ancient one.
To actually get the power.
I mean,
of the
to be
blood
honest, let's be fair. That movie was awesome because it had a bunch of guns,
and explosions and everything else. And that's what we were talking about before the show tonight.
Arts, straight up like kick ass,
It was badass on all ends because of that.
Well, we had Whistler, I think his name was that would
Chris
create
Christopherson.
Stuff.
Oh yeah,
come on.
Chris Christopherson.
He'd be the guy like,
Christopherson.
I fixed your weapon, or I got this cool thing.
Well,
for
he
you.
built the weapon.
He's like a Chris over here,
Well, he was
my dad.
He was the equivalent. He was the equivalent of Blade's Q. He was Blade's Q. He was the dude that came up with all the toys.
Yeah,
He was the engineer.
it was so dope.
Yeah. He played a great character and he did a great job. Fantastic job in that movie. For me, it's a toss-up between that and Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh yeah, Dusk Till Dawn. Yeah, of course.
And
the gore alone in that movie was worth it.
And that's just it. For me, it's the special effects. I'm an old school horror guy. Tom Savini is like, I hold him on a pedestal.
Oh yeah,
movies like Creepshow, the original Friday the 13th. The Burning. The list goes on and on. Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, there was some vampire stuff in those Creepshow movies, wasn't there? Maybe trying to think here.
No, I don't remember any vampire
Maybe not
stuff.
Vampire stuff.
No, but I did watch both of those just close to Halloween. Amy watched them with me. Yeah, I love the Creepshow.
You know which
those
ones?
The first one was written by Stephen King.
The one
and done by George Romero.
Oh yeah.
Anything by George Romero.
Stephen King had a pretty big role in one of them.
Well, yeah. I mean, he was oh my god, meteor shit. In Maine is where the meteor landed.
Oh,
yeah. Imagine that.
No, I mean he's got the Maine accent down. Of course, obviously I'm a Mainer.
Yeah.
In case you didn't know, but I mean Stephen King when I think of a Maine accent, he's actually a really good person to think about. What's the Maine accent? It's Stephen King.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Yeah, right there.
And Bangor.
Absolutely.
Oh no, I'm going to bring this down to college.
Yeah.
I'm going to get it looked at.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Well, and I mean, he to me probably defines. I mean, Christine is one of my favorite movies.
Oh yeah,
I love Christine. The whole storyline of that
car
is fantastic.
That was a great horror movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny. It's one of those horror movies that people will be like, "Oh, that's a terrible horror movie."
Yeah,
no.
That's
it actually was fucking great.
It's great. It's fantastic, and it's another one that the effects in it are fantastic. They're great. They're very well done.
It's how you do it. Yeah. It's how you do it.
It was at a time where it had to use.
Well, and Stephen King, if you look at it, that man had a run on movies. Mm-hmm. He had a run on movies, through the 80s, straight up into the 90s. Lawnmower Man, come on.
Yeah.
Lawnmower Man was friggin' awesome.
I like The Stand.
The Stand was good. Stand By Me.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's just the list goes on and on.
I remember The Stand was a mini series.
Yeah,
it was made for TV. It was
just like It.
Yeah, it was one of those.
Just like it.
Yeah.
Ended a war.
That's a very special time.
He had Needful Things, Children of the Corn.
Do you remember the Langoliers?
Yes.
The Langoliers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
I forgot about that.
The CGI was so bad. I was like, what a cool story, though. Man. Like,
But the graphics and friggin'
Should have got with George Lucas.
And what's funny is, like, I work a lot of high-tech conventions, but if you look at what we're looking at with VR right now, it is exactly what they were using in Lawnmower Man.
Right.
Like, precisely. The headset looks exactly like a Samsung VR headset. You know,
awesome.
they're like tactical gloves and stuff like that where you can manipulate things. And it's amazing to me, you know, going back to the concept that we were talking about earlier in the episode where Star Trek inspired a lot of this technology. These movies actually, like, find people like my stepmother, who was on the episode, the election pregame
Carol.
episode. Carol, yeah. Who was an electoral college voter, was actually hired as a consultant for Boston Public whenever it came out, because she was actually one of the heads of the Boston Teachers Union. So she, much like they hire people that are like ER nurses and stuff to like be advisors on ER, so that the actors know the lingo, so that the lingo on the show is right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They hired her to be a consultant to come in and make sure that, like, the process that would happen within the school system was properly represented.
Wow.
You know, like, this is the process that would be followed. And it's the same thing in sci-fi movies. It's, you know, like, they will literally go to NASA and be like, what are you looking at? Like, if we were to go to Mars, what would you be looking at? You know, what kind of technology would you be looking to use? And then they emulate that, which was one of the reasons why I was not a big fan of... oh my God, what the fuck was it? It was the one with Jennifer Bullock and George Clooney where they're out in fucking space.
Yeah.
oh, Gravity.
Gravity.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that, dude?
I didn't
Don't
watch
even
it.
get me started.
I'm sorry.
I didn't
What's
watch
your
it.
problem with it? What's your problem
It
with
was boring.
it? Okay, I'll give you that.
It was. I mean, okay, you're making a.
There's that.
You're making a space movie.
I prejudged it thinking the same thing.
It was kind of pretentious too, like, you know.
It was very pretentious.
that whole scene at the end where she's all like, "I'm like being born in space," and it's like, what the.
No. What was your problem with it, Steve-O?
Well, because I never saw it, but I...
what the fuck?
But no,
well, what the fuck? You ain't got no problem with it.
But see here, I prejudged it, and by what I saw with all the previews and stuff, and I really kind of wanted it to watch it because it was like a space movie, and I'm into that. But I saw that. I'm like, what I'm seeing to me is like, oh, we got Clooney, he's boring me, and so I was like, I don't.
I
think
actually
this is
worked
gonna
with
be good.
George Clooney's wife today.
Hey.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Hey.
But to me, the problem in it was the fucking science. The fucking science.
Okay.
My ass! You're going to be able to clip yourself onto a fucking moving satellite.
They needed to consult
Or
with,
something
like,
moving
Neil
in,
deGrasse
or something
whatever.
moving in orbit.
Oh,
when
no,
you're
God.
free floating.
No, it
My
would,
ass! You're not going to be able to grab
would-
a hold of
it would
something.
tear you apart.
It would rip you in half. Literally.
Yeah.
Like there's you sure you're moving at the same rate, but the fact is it's moving in front of you at the same rate, and it's gonna like destroy you.
Think about trying to grab onto like a moving car.
Yes.
It's going like 5 times faster than that.
Yeah, and you're trying to grab that.
No. It's going way faster than that.
Well,
you're talking about
I'm
talking about into like the.
I'm saying benefit of the doubt. Like, say like she was somehow able to project her speed at somewhat similar of a speed. Even if it's similar, it's still going to be way off. You know.
Yeah.
You know, so to grab onto something going.
Yeah, I think it's
90,000.
No, I think it's literally like once you're in orbit,
Probably like
because
thousands,
of your thrust when you get into orbit, and then the gravitational whip that happens, you gain speed as you go around.
This whole conversation reminds me. Last night, I actually caught an episode of Star Talk by.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! Neil deGrasse Tyson. That show's bad to the bone.
And he was analyzing. He had some guests that were a part of the making of. I think it's The Martian or something. And they were talking about a scene and stuff.
Okay.
And he was, just kind of like there as they broke it down.
Yeah, that show's interesting, dude. I love that show.
It was cool because even though he had so much knowledge, he was even like after they were explaining and they were showing the video, like this clip or whatever, like how they, come up with this or whatnot. And he goes, what were y'all? You guys were smoking. He was like, y'all must have just been kicking back. Like, yeah. We're gonna have this thing right here, and this thing's gonna, and then we're gonna have the solar. All this stuff, and
it's interesting because recently on a trip to Houston, or on the trip to Bastrop on our anniversary, Amy and I were listening to an episode of Nerdist, a podcast that had Neil deGrasse Tyson on it, and he was talking about the success that he's had and why the success has happened. And it's because he literally takes these social memes, these social concepts, these things that people are readily accessing, like Star Trek, and goes, okay, well, let's look at Star Trek and let's explain the science. And people can relate to it.
Totally, yeah.
He gives hard, intense, deep scientific fact and knowledge in something that is readily accessible to normal people.
He's I gotta hand it to him, man. He's a true inspiration.
Oh yeah,
to a society.
I love Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, to a society that
I thought Cosmos got a little preachy toward the end.
Well, I thought Cosmos was brilliant.
It was great.
Quite honestly,
it was very well done.
And it's not like it's nothing like new, It's basically like what I like about it is it's just pure science.
Yep.
It's totally like this is pretty cool, Look at this, and
Yeah. Well, and then
like I said, I'll think about just think like bigger than yourself.
That's just it.
There's bigger things out there than like paying your taxes and I gotta make sure to pay my mortgage or whatever.
Well, that's important.
Yeah, it is for sure.
It's important in the short term.
But you think about why humans are on this planet,
exactly.
To begin
think of
with.
it like with the universe, where you're at in the universe, rather than at this tiny spot where you are in your life. Like you're saying, paying taxes and waking up, I need to do that.
Yeah, and then when you really think about the bigger picture, it's like,
Well, and it's
a kind of, it gives you perspective.
It's interesting. I'm not going to blow the episode, but the upcoming episode with John Seymour is actually about making dreams reality, a manifestation, and the whole idea of being your own person and finding that concept and understanding that you put that out there, like it. You putting the work in, and I've said it about bands that I've worked with, to both of you guys.
Don't dream it, be
it. The bands that are successful are the bands that from day one say that they are successful. They are successful on their terms. It's not a monetary success, it's a musician success. Are we happy with what we're doing, or is what we're doing right?
Well, so long as you're doing something. Period.
Well, yeah, and so many bands though expect the fact that I started a band. Why would you not want to hire me? Why would you not want to give me money? Or bands start and they fail because people don't understand the sacrifice that it takes to be part of it. And it's the same way with making films. These films that we're talking about that we love. It takes a sacrifice on people's part.
I saw an interview with Megyn Kelly today. She just came out with a new book, and the actual title of the book kind of goes with this conversation. And anyways, on Dr. Phil, she said what got her going with Dr. Phil that really inspired her was he made a comment at one point when he was like fresh on the Oprah show and Oprah was helping him out, and he said during the episode, he said, what's the difference between you and the person that you envy? It's you settle for less.
That's right.
And she said that was kind of like her.
That's an awakening moment.
Yeah, her awakening moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's how it was with me. It was literally the fact of like, I am the one that writes this. I'm the one that, writes my history. I'm the one that decides what I do. And it does take that moment of decision. It does take that moment, even whenever you moved here, Tom, a moment of a true leap of faith. You know,
yeah, for sure, man.
I remember you came to my house and you searched some Craigslist ads, and we had some drinks. And next thing you know, you had a couple auditions, and about a week later, you were off somebody's couch and off to tour with this band.
It's acting upon those.
Yeah. It's funny how it works, man. I don't know.
yeah. It's interesting, and to me,
everyone's got a say in their own destiny, and I think so long as you have will,
right?
Yeah,
you can get stuff done. So long as you don't,
well, and I think
defeat yourself, which I find a lot of people.
Yeah.
Oh, most people are self-defeatist.
You're your own worst enemy.
No,
right?
I was
I can never do that. But well, you can. Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, of course, everything you do is going to be a sacrifice of something else. What
Everything I've ever wanted to do
bit,
has been a success.
Yeah, totally. Well, I mean, that's...
because the success is determined by me,
right?
And it may not be a monetary success. Like even my music, I've never sold. That's not true.
Well,
I've sold some music, but
what defines success?
Exactly.
Like, I mean, seriously, I don't even really know. I mean, you can look at it monetary, and that's. Well, I can say I'm very monetarily successful, but...
Well, and even with some of these movies that we've talked about tonight, like Commando, what defines success? Was it a box office hit?
Maybe.
I don't think it was a huge hit, but it was definitely a cult classic.
I was going to say cult classic.
It wasn't out there with Avatar.
Popular culture.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't hit the numbers that E.T. hit.
Yeah.
Right.
It didn't hit the numbers that Poltergeist hit.
Although I think that movie isn't a good example, because I think it did actually. It was kind of a blockbuster at the time. Not
it was
a crazy big one, but
it wasn't the numbers that Predator put up.
I like those movies, The Howling. Nobody's ever spoke of that lately. That when we have our episodes. Remember The Howling? That was a big deal in the 80s. The werewolf movies.
Yep.
That was dope.
Man, those are good movies.
I really like that. The Howling.
Well, I mean, you had American Werewolf in London.
Yeah.
A personal favorite, another Stephen King movie.
That took a lot to make his hand grow.
Another Stephen King movie, Silver Bullet. Little Gary Busey action and some Corey Haim.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Nothing like blinded and creepy priest with a bottle rocket. Spoiler alert. But that was a holy Jesus, Palomino. That was a good movie.
That was a Stephen King, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
That was Gary Busey's catchphrase in that. Jumping Jesus, Palomino. But yeah, that was a great one. I always enjoyed that one. There was also Wolf.
Oh yeah,
looping back to some Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
That was some good stuff.
Who's the other guy?
I was gonna say.
I think that was.
I'm trying to remember his name. The other werewolf guy.
Yeah. Well, didn't he play in Silence of the Lambs or something? Or no?
He was in a bunch of stuff.
What was the one where...
I love that movie.
Remember where he had to be locked up because he knew he was a werewolf and he...
Just put the fucking lotion in the basket.
Yeah, dude. No, his voice was so creepy as fuck. Oh, that guy. Yeah. He made...
wait a minute. You mean that great big fat lady?
Yeah. Great big fat lady. She had nice skin.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Don't you hurt my dog!
Dog, got your damn dog.
Oh, I'd fuck me. I'd fuck me so hard.
Yeah,
it just got really dark, dude. You need to Google shit so much faster.
Okay, so the other guy's
that was
James Spader. He was the bad guy in that movie.
James.
James Spader. Yep, he played Stuart Swinton. The kind of like. He was trying to weasel his way to the top kind of corporate guy.
Yeah,
that was a great movie because, you know what? I think people can relate to, you work in a job and it's like, to get by in your job, you kind of need to, be like a wolf and, you need to be aggressive. And that's the way people make it in the world, is to sort of like take what they have, and actually a good example is this election, like who was the bigger wolf,
Yeah, right.
Was it Clinton?
Well, no, I mean it truly is. Well, to take it even to a deeper level, it's the pack mentality.
Yeah,
it's the true pack mentality.
Oh, yeah,
the alpha wolf and the beta wolf, and the one that leads people to do what they do.
That's interesting because then you think about, okay, so what we're saying now is the pack mentality went toward Trump.
No, it didn't.
What do you mean?
No, because Trump won the Electoral College.
Okay. Yeah.
Trump won the Electoral College, which, like we said before the show,
if you think about
3 times in history that's happened. It's and really the Electoral College system is interesting. A lot of people, and I've even said before, maybe we need to get rid of it.
Right.
But really, whenever you think about it,
and it's in question after you said that.
Really, the true purpose of it, if you look at the actual population of the United States.
Yep.
Like, good God. Houston is one of the 5 biggest cities in the country.
Most people live in urban areas.
Well, it's the fact that there are like 7 cities in America that comprise the majority of people.
Yeah. Well, yeah, think about it. 4+ million in Houston.
It's, I mean,
actually, Texas, that's why Texas
dude,
is huge.
It's bigger than that.
Yeah.
It's over 6 million.
And you think about New York, last I knew was 8 million. It's probably way more now.
Yeah. Exactly. LA, and, whenever you look at that really skews things a lot. So the Electoral College is there to kind of even that out.
To give the rural communities more to say. Exactly. Which is why Idaho, of course, it's rural.
Yeah.
Think of what's in Idaho? Well, there's Boise, but Idaho's a rural state. They're going to, think differently.
Did you play Idaho?
Well, I have played in Idaho. Idaho is a great place to play. It's fun. But you think about all these rural states. They're generally it's funny how they all lean red. Well, I mean, now you get into a whole mentality of the rural. States. Think about Wyoming. Think about these states that have don't have much in them.
Yeah.
Even as far as
Montana, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, of course, people that live in rural areas are going to, have way different worldview than people who live in places that have huge populations like Houston or
absolutely
metropolis
Dallas
cities
or,
and all.
New York, whatever. You're going to...
Metro.
It's less international, I think. I think the city population, is more of a worldview population versus the rural, which is more of a
what's going on in their area
community. Keep it local. They don't want to change much because things are working well.
Yeah. Well, and
I know where we're going with this. So for some reason Trump won. I don't know. Hillary got more votes, but it was in urban areas.
It is the selected, not elected mentality, and that happened, of course. Like I said before the show, it was. There's been 2 times in our lifetime so far that's happened. And it is a rarity. It's not something that happens regularly.
So okay. We're not trying to get all political here.
No.
Tell you what. If this election was like the Predator movie.
Yeah.
Donald Trump would be, of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
And Hillary Clinton. And then Hillary Clinton would be the Predator. There you go.
And like I said earlier...
There you go.
That's
and
it.
like I said earlier...
Perfect.
Bernie Sanders would be Billy.
Oh, totally.
Bernie Sanders would be the one to jump out on the log and rip his shirt open and fucking cut his chest and be like, come and take me!
Come and take
me now! This is what's for the best of all of us!
Totally.
Oh my God!
Poor Billy.
And like everyone
And
was
poor
like,
Billy and poor Bernie.
Yeah,
On both
totally.
sides of the fence.
I feel so bad for Bernie Sanders, man. Like, poor guy.
Well, and I said it on the show before. I said it the night of the election. The problem I had was the day he dropped I from his name.
Yeah, I agree.
When he dropped I from his name, and like we actually had if he had stayed independent, I think that number one, we would have had 3 podiums at the debate.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
For the first time in a long time. The last time that shit happened was Ross Perot's son.
Woo. Yeah.
Interesting.
They had to have
you know what
crates.
I mean? That's the last time that we had 3 podiums in a presidential debate.
Yeah, I mean, and
it would have offered a viable something. It would have at least I think awoken a lot more people than what were awoken. And it would have reverberated a lot more.
Maybe the people weren't ready for a third party. Maybe that's what it is.
I think they've always.
I think they just still don't understand. I think they're still just bought into the paradigm. Mm-hmm. And I make
third
the analogy. I make the analogy, of course, being a video guy. It's the spectrum. Roy G. Biv.
Yeah. You don't always have to go red or blue.
And between red and blue, there's orange and yellow and green.
Yeah.
there's a few other things there.
You're right.
There's a few other things between
Why
red and blue.
Why does it always have to be that,
And those make other colors when you combine them. There's a whole panoply of choices there that we are literally not giving ourselves.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny to me that, this whole population of people, of Americans, just only see red or blue.
Yeah. Bleed it.
And 46% of Americans didn't even vote this time around.
Yeah.
Think about that. Like, okay, well,
they're showing right now a lot of the protesters, even in in Oregon and stuff like that they didn't even register to vote, and that they didn't vote. It's like what the what?
Yeah.
Well, and it's like you wonder why you get these candidates like Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump because, well, really, maybe Americans just don't care. They don't care enough to go out and put in their time.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do about that? I mean, it's a sobering reality.
And I, me, I listen to a lot of talk radio, and that's what I've heard from a lot of hosts is
what's that?
Those of you who did support the Democratic candidate, number one, she did not get out into the people the way that Donald Trump did.
Exactly.
She did not. She coasted on her name. She stopped going out and doing hardcore points where she was like out in factories talking to people, things like that.
She wasn't warm and fuzzy,
well, she's not a warm and fuzzy person. Yeah. And The Dangerous Mind of Max Miller is a great podcast. And one of the points he brings up is she's very much like Margaret Thatcher.
Okay.
Real dry.
Great statesperson, very dry, not humorous, not like personable,
right?
But great statesperson, absolutely.
Well, I mean,
I'm with you, Tom. Believe me.
I think she's more coasting on the fact that
exactly
she's got the blood of the president.
That's just it. Is that she coasted? She coasted. She didn't get out there and hit the hard points.
I am the establishment. The establishment has not failed until
she
now.
Expected to win.
Yeah, she expected.
In my mind,
and
she expected, and by all popular vote, she did. However, by the system and the system that we have in place, she did not.
Yes.
She did not.
And it's so ironic because the establishment loses to an establishment system.
Up top with that,
which should be run by the people, right?
And what's funny about all that is the result was this monster.
Yeah.
I mean, we have Donald fucking Trump.
Well, we can't. I don't know. I'm somebody that doesn't say monster because I even said
he was painted to be a monster.
Even when Obama was painted to be a monster, whenever he came in, which he was.
Yeah.
I was one of those people that was like, let's let the man prove himself.
As far as Antichrist.
Let's see what actually happens. We get and I tell this.
There's a lot of skeptics based on
like
this rhetoric. But.
Well, absolutely, and I'm not going to say not rightfully so, but let's actually see what happens. Right now, we are casting aspersions, and quite technically, by all rules of the universe, the more of these aspersions we cast out, the more negativity will happen.
Sure.
And by what he's been doing or saying since he's been elected is almost different or contradictory or whatnot.
Quite a bit of it's been contradictory.
Yeah.
I mean, ever since he, was, in the spotlight about being presidential candidate, he's always backpedaled and always been very contradictory. Hasn't really said anything. Right?
Yeah.
Like, he's been a candidate that you don't know anything. Except that he somehow riled up the public to violence, by saying kind of unsavory things.
I wouldn't say that the other side has done any less. Quite honestly.
I mean,
that's just me.
I don't know. I mean, the other side has been more...
There have been numerous things in the riots that are going on where Trump supporters have been attacked, stuff like that. Trump actually, and it came out on Fox News that part of the 60 Minutes episode that was not aired was Trump actually telling people that were his supporters that were doing racist things or downing other people of other races to stop it.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah, I heard that too, which is, I mean, to me, it's so contradictory to how he's run his campaign and abrasive toward minorities.
To bring it around full circle as we close out this episode, guys, I think Confucius Jones said it best, and actually Chris Claremont said it best. In the episode with Chris Claremont on Those Damn Comic Book Guys. Check them out from the Revolution Digital Group, guys. Great podcast. He actually said that the Trump election and what's going on is probably one of the best comic book storylines and the rise of a villain that you can ever see.
Certainly, there's certainly going to be
it's interesting. It's interesting to say the least. And on that note, we're going to leave it on that. We've had a great night sitting here talking about favorite movies, things, and we did end up talking about politics.
I'm sorry.
Hey, I knew it was going to happen. My grateful fact is it was 5 minutes, guys. And look at how much we covered in 5 minutes.
In 5 minutes.
Hell yeah.
In 5 minutes.
And that's all it takes.
And that's just it.
Just be good to one another.
That's it. It's about being good to one another. It's about being open.
How you want to be treated.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's the golden rule, man.
Golden rule.
Golden rule, and that exists with everybody. So until next time, everybody, take care of yourself.
And
if you can't, if you can't be good, be good at it.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Dudes and Beer Podcast. To listen to our live audio streams, tune in at dudesandbeer.com or Spreaker.com/dudesandbeer. You can find our episodes on SoundCloud.com as well as the Google Play and iTunes market. You can also find us on YouTube, Stitcher, and your favorite podcast service. Dudes and Beer is a proud member of the Revolution Digital Group family of podcasts. Thanks for listening, everybody, and until next time, drink responsibly.